There are some shocking facts about Vanda coerulea that people just don't know about. But please, put your blenders away. Don't get them out just yet. Let's learn how to grow and propagate these plants so you never run out of this magic ingredient. And welcome to the Nature Company. Today we're going to be doing a culture sheet on Vanda coerulea, however you want to say it. We'll be giving you some tips on how to ensure that you're getting good growth and flowering out of them, and how to propagate them to get the best out of your propagations. Also, we'll be giving you some ancient wisdom and some knowledge that modern technology has brought us that makes this very possibly a very important plant in the future. If this is the kind of information you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and that notification bell to be notified of all our upcoming content so you don't miss out on a thing. The exquisite Blue Vanda, as it's often known, has got some secrets that we'll reveal later, because we need to know how we can get it to grow and how to propagate it. So not only can we get these beautiful flowers, but we can get all those hidden secrets. This beautiful Blue Vanda has the most exquisite flowers. They start off almost whitish as they open with the blue-purple lip, and as they age, they get darker and darker. And as the flowers darken up, it's easier to see these markings on the flowers. It's called tessellation. It's like a mosaic kind of appearance. It's like white tiles with this blue-purple grout in between. So it is actually quite stunning even when you're looking at it close up, as opposed to even just seeing this beautiful big display of all this amazing color. These are one of the easiest Vandas to grow and to flower, because they will flower in lower temperatures than what a lot of other Vandas will flower. That's why they're often used in the hybridization of different colored Vandas to ensure that they're going to flower in suboptimal temperatures. And the best temperature range for growing these Vandas is generally daytime temperatures between 21 and 29 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, with nighttime temperatures going down to around sort of 15 to 18 degrees Celsius, which is 55 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is where they'll grow and flourish the best. In constant temperatures like this, you are going to get a lot of flowering out of this plant. It can flower anywhere from spring all the way through to autumn, if you have constant temperatures like that throughout your growing season. Here, we only have those cooler temperatures as it starts heading to autumn, so it's more common to get just autumn flowering, which is actually the most common point for this Vanda to actually flower, is in that autumn period, as the nighttime temperatures tend to drop further. They will accept quite low temperatures. Here we get evening temperatures during winter of sort of, our lows are about 2 degrees Celsius to around 5 degrees Celsius, but our daytime temperatures do rise then again. So these do accept quite low temperatures compared to what a lot of those other Vandas will take. And as you can see, we're growing it outside, being exposed to all the elements. And also, being a Vanda, it doesn't particularly like being in a media. It often prefers to be bare root or mounted onto something, and it likes lots of water, especially during that growing season. So if your days get incredibly warm, then you may start needing to water them every single day. They prefer humidities of between 70 and 80%, but they will still accept humidities as low as 50%. But then remember, you are going to have to water them more frequently so that they don't start dehydrating. They are monopodial orchids without pseudobulbs. So it's their big fleshy roots and the stems and the fleshiness of the leaf that is holding the moisture for them. So they don't have much of a reserve. That's why they're going to need that constant watering, especially in those high temperatures. But as the temperatures start cooling towards winter, if you get cool winters with short days, then your Vanda coerulea can actually go dormant. And that means you're not going to have to water it very frequently at all. but still don't allow it to dry out completely, because then you'll still start getting withering of the roots and the leaves. So just ensure that you're watering it enough to keep all the leaves and the roots turgid. And how much light do they need? Well, they really like lots and lots of light. So bright, indirect light is often always the best. Here we get a lot of morning sun onto this, so they will accept sun in the morning and also in the late afternoon. But direct sun during the midday will probably burn the leaves, even if they've been accustomed to quite a bit of bright light. And as with all Vandas, to get the spectacular display of flowers, they are heavy feeders. So feeding all the way from spring all the way through autumn until flowering is done. And then of course, especially if you get those cooler temperatures and the shorter daylight hours, and then you can stop feeding regularly and only give them once a month. With our Vandas, we like to feed every week with a dilute solution, so we don't make it too highly concentrated. Our Vandas are bare root, so it allows for any then water or rain that they get to rinse off any excess nutrients from the plant itself. If you don't have enough air movement, you will rot the roots incredibly easily. So they can be a little bit tough indoors to grow with their light requirements and the need for a constant air movement. So if you are indoors, you may have to have a small fan near it, but not blowing directly onto it, because that's just going to dry out your plant too quickly, but to allow for air movement around it all the time. They can sometimes be grown in a media, but will have to be a very, very open media, something that is going to allow for that air movement right the way through it. So really large bark pieces or perhaps broken pieces of brick or something to allow for perhaps just keeping your humidity levels up, especially indoors, but not to allow those roots to rot. And also, if you're not getting flowering out of your Vanda, there's two main reasons for this. It's going to be, it's not getting enough light. If your Vanda is not getting enough light, it's not producing enough energy through photosynthesis, it's not going to flower. Also, if you don't get those temperature drops between your day-night temperatures, then you're probably not going to get flowering out of them either. They like to get a nice deep drop in nighttime temperatures to be able to produce their flowering. And if you're getting that throughout your growing season from spring through to autumn, you can get flowering on and off on your plant throughout that whole extended period. We also find that here in summer, our daytime temperatures can get to 35 degrees Celsius plus, and we don't have a problem with growing them. They still grow beautifully. So they are quite resilient as to what temperature ranges they can actually accept. And as for the propagation, they are incredibly easy to do too, because unlike some of those other Vandas who just want to grow a single stem and really want to produce those little kikis at the sides, these Vandas will actually branch relatively easily. And as soon as you're getting those branches shooting up and they have 2 or 3 roots on them, preferably at the very least around 2 centimeters long, then you can just cut off that branch and you have a new plant. The only other way to do them is by seed, which has to be done in a lab. But as I said, these are quite easy growers and they multiply up quite readily. And in between 5 and 10 years, you can have a plant that's up to 1.5 meters tall and even 1 meter wide. So they really are quite vigorous growers for orchids anyway. And your flower spikes, as your plant matures and gets older and bigger, so your flower spikes will get longer and bigger, and the size of your flowers will also increase. Your flower spikes can even be branched and have up to as many as 50 flowers on a single inflorescence. So they really are givers. They really are going to do their best for you. The other wonderful thing about these Vandas is that they're almost disease-free. Yes, you might get the occasional little bit of fungal attack, but generally nothing too serious. And then on the older flowers, you may get a little bit of botrytis or a little bit of fungal spots, but that can only be expected, especially when you've got especially when they're out in the open like this with high humidity and lots of rain. And the insects that are going to be attacking it, you're generally not too fussed with too many of them. You may get a little bit of scale and perhaps some mealybug that may crawl in and around your plant. But those can be easily treated. The only other problem comes in with the flowers. I'm afraid slugs and snails love eating them. It's the soft, beautiful scent that they give off that just attracts them. So be careful of that. Be aware that the slugs and snails may come for your precious flowers. Also, if you've got any grasshoppers around or locusts, they're also going to enjoy a nice light snack. And now what about all those secrets that I've been hinting about? These Vandas have been known since early times. There's even a Sanskrit word for them, which means they've been recognized in writing long before a lot of other plants have even been named. And the name that it was given in Sanskrit was Vanda, which is, I'm not sure, I didn't check it up, which is possibly where the name Vanda actually comes from. This has been known in India for longer than I can even imagine. And the extent of the Vanda spread is from India through across and into China in that wet tropical biome. So that's where they generally come from. And those ancient Indians used it as a remedy. I think they still do today. They use the flowers, they extract a liquid from the flowers, and they use it to treat glaucoma, cataracts, and try and help blindness or reduce blindness. So we can see it's had medical use since long before traditional modern medicine. But talking about traditional modern medicine, they have found a new use for it. But that doesn't mean you should get your blenders out and start blending it up. Even if we have told you how to propagate it successfully, they've found an active ingredient in Vanda coerulea which may help in reducing the signs of aging. So we know this could either be a big problem for the plant where it's going to be mass harvested and souped up to produce beautiful creams to keep us looking amazing, or otherwise it's going to be intensely farmed and we'll be able to get it anywhere. But hopefully the second one, because these flowers are just some of the most beautiful and eye-catching, as those color changes, this magnificent, it's actually more purple than blue, but we call it blue, and being so easy to flower, they're just a joy to have in the garden. Oh right, and those tips on the propagation, once you've taken off those cuttings, lie them flat, lie them horizontally. This will help reduce the apical dominance and help initiate those lateral buds to increase the branching of your plant almost immediately. And also by reducing that apical dominance, it helps stimulate the production of new roots. So that's obviously what's going to help that new cutting that you've taken settle in nicely and take off like a bomb. And if any of you out there have the pure white form or pink form, please drop in the comments below. I'll be so jealous to find out who has them, because I've been looking for them for a long time but still haven't been able to find them. If you found any of the information we've provided in our videos helpful in your orchid growing journey and would like to show appreciation, you can buy us a coffee in the Buy Me Coffee link down below. Or you can become a member and get access to all the information available on that page. And grow like a pro. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below, and that notification bell, bing bong, to be notified of all our upcoming content so you don't miss out on a thing. Help us grow as we help your orchids grow.